On one even day, while scrolling through my favorite social media platform, YouTube, I came across a not so usual podcast featuring our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Damodar Das Modi alongside Lex Friedman.
मेरा एक कन्विक्शन है कि क्रिटिसिज्म ये डेमोक्रेसी की आत्मा है.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not at all a podcast person, but here I couldn't stop myself from watching because, of course, it features my Prime Minister. I was so curious to watch that what kind of message it carries. It was some 3 hours, 17-minute, 34-second long podcast, and the only thing that stayed with me was his statement over criticism. Well, I'm reframing the sentence, but the message still remains same, where he said that I welcome the powerful and logical criticism because criticism is the soul of our democracy. Well, very important and much needed statement. But friends, question should not be what he said over that fancy podcast. The question should be, what is the ground reality behind this statement? Or is the world's fourth largest democracy really ready for the constructive and logical criticism? Well, let's try to find the answer in this video with logic. Yesterday, I read this news which says that Supreme Court has asked Union government to consider guidelines to regulate conduct on social media with effective consequences. This came after the Samarana's latent got controversy. The court has said that the comedians like him abuse the freedom of speech and expression by making fun of disabled person. Now see, ladies and gentlemen, over this issue we all can have our own point of view, our own opinion, and as a person who have never been the part of a show as an audience, and I'm not even interested to be one of them, I would definitely say that yes, one has all the right to criticize them for the choice of their words, for the choice of their jokes. Even yes, our constitutional body should intervene. They should slam them, maybe punish or fine them, in fact warn them that this should not be repeated. But the way this controversy has been stretched, I need to say this, that I'm not sure if Samarana has really abused the freedom of speech and expression, but what is happening is definitely the abuse of power. Because how come our constitutional body's outrage is limited to these artist, creator or comedian? Politicians of this nation, ladies and gentlemen, on the daily basis give such bizarre statements which are full of hateful intentions, vile language, but leave about the action. Our courts don't even question them. They don't even ask them to take the accountability. It's we, the people of India, starts running trend against them. Maybe we slam them together, and yes, sometimes it works. We do make them apologize, and sometimes it doesn't even matter. So now if they will censor us over the social media too by bringing the new guidelines, then what's the point? The conditions and situations are already not very good. I clearly remember during the time of India-Pakistan tensions recently in April how few of our creators were literally facing sedition charges. For what? For questioning the government regarding Pahalgam attack and the security lapse. Well, I again believe that's the abuse of power, because questioning to the rulers regarding our people and then labeling it as sedition is pretty wild, and the reason they gave was even more weird. They said that their videos got viral in Pakistan and now they are a threat to the India's integrity. Now, very logically, ladies and gentlemen, how come creators are responsible for their videos getting viral in any of other country? I mean, if they are being cherry-picked and used with the hateful intentions, what they can do? Again, here a very personal concern. These creators speak Hindi, so their videos got viral in Pakistan. I speak global language, and tomorrow I'll be attracting the global audience from around the world. And if my videos will be getting viral in any of the place, they are going to label me as anti-national, and it definitely does not mean that I'm going to not question them, because of course it's my basic right. Anyways, coming back to that guideline thing, the judges have clearly said that they are not curbing free speech. Instead, they are expecting that the proposed guideline should draw a line between free speech and hurtful speech. Okay, let's dig a bit deeper and have a look what it look like to question government or even do the basics to report the incident off and on the social media in 2025. This I will start with the recent and very concerning incident, ladies and gentlemen. Day before yesterday, I came across a news which says a FIR has been filed against the journalist Abhisar Sharma by the Guwahati police for a video which was posted by him on 8th of August in which he criticized the Assam and Union government. This FIR invokes Section 152 sedition, 196, 197 of Bharati Nyaya Sanhita. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you must be thinking that what Mr. Sharma has said in that video, that he is facing such serious charges. So let me tell you, I have not watched the video, so I cannot comment much. But according to the reports, he has criticized the Assam CM for his communal politics, and also he has referred to the recent remarks by the Guwahati High Court, where he has questioned the Assam CM that why 3,000 bighas of land of tribal area has been allotted to a private company to set up a cement factory. Now again, I don't know how come it is a problem. I mean, I definitely have not watched the video, his choice of words, what he has said in that video, but still I feel like exercising a basic right and still facing the sedition and FIR is pretty wild and just not acceptable, especially when the criticism is the soul of a democracy. Well, anyway, now Mr. Sharma has approached to the Supreme Court for quashing his FIR. The Supreme Court will hear this plea on 28th of August. This video I'm recording on 27th of August, so you have to be updated. You have to be connected with the good pages. You can also hit the follow up over my Instagram page. Link is in the bio. Well, keeping the promotional material aside and coming back to the point. Assam police again filed the FIR against the two of the senior journalists, Siddharth Vardarajan and Karan Thapar. Mind you, there were two FIR. One was filed way back on May 9, 2025 regarding Pahalgam attack, and one the recent one. They both were summoned on 12th of August 2025 to appear before the Guwahati Crime Branch on 22nd of August, and on the same date, the Supreme Court granted both of them protection from any of the coercive action. Now to this incident, the Wire wrote in one of their articles that the Wire is a public domain. It can be seen or comprehended by anybody. Yes, anyone has the right to criticize them. They are open for the healthy public debate and discussion, but criminalizing the publication is questionable, and with logic, ladies and gentlemen, I have to agree with them, because as a person who has always been critical of all the issues, who has always been very vocal regarding how our dissent should not be criminalized, yes, they are right, especially when the criticism is soul of our democracy. Anyway, moving forward. Now, these were the few incidents where you can see how it looked like to criticize government over the social media, and now coming to the ground level journalism, and the incidents are scary, ladies and gentlemen. The recent one is of Sneha Balvi, an independent journalist in Pune, was beaten in broad daylight on camera with the wooden stick until she fell unconscious because she was reporting on some illegal construction, and the other party who has beaten her were the political goons. I mean, it was just insane. I was so shocked that nobody intervened to save her. This is how much our people fear these political goons, and this is how these political goons have no fear of our law and judiciary. Like, imagine our journalists are nowhere safe. In January, Mukesh Chandrakar was murdered. I was big follower of his work, and it has deeply affected me, and it will keep affecting me. Similarly, in March, Raghavendra Vajpayee from UP was also murdered in broad daylight because he reported on some irregularities in the rice paddy sales, and that's why I reported this Sneha's incident over my Instagram page as soon as possible, because I want people, more and more people, to know that what it looked like to be independent and fearless journalist in 2025, and it feels absolutely bizarre to remind the statement of Mr. Modi over that fancy podcast when the ground reality looks like this. Similarly, on 7th of August, a journalist was repeatedly punched and kicked by two of the Punjab commandos. It was some 2 minute and 16-second long video, horrific assault. He just went to ask few questions to them, and in return they brutally assaulted him. It was just bizarre. It was just inhuman to watch that video. They literally kicked him till the time he didn't fall unconscious. Once he fell, they walked away a bit, and then one of them came back kicked him again in order to check if he is alive or dead. Absolutely inhuman. I mean, I really ask this question on the daily basis to myself, that if we are human anymore, because if we are losing our humanity on the daily basis, then on what basis we are calling ourselves human? We are worse than animals, literally. Anyway, now both the officers were suspended, but I feel like, ladies and gentlemen, that we as a responsible citizen are not responsible anymore, and we have forgotten to ask the real question, that why these kind of incidents keep repeating, keep happening to our brave and independent journalists. I mean, why we don't take lessons from the past incident, why we don't ask right question to our judiciary, that why our law and order is failing us. If they will start giving strictest punishment to such political goons or to such assaulters, we can see a bit of a change, but we never question them. Suspending those officers is not going to change the fact that the journalists like Sneha are still not safe. At this point of time, when our mainstream media is literally dead, those journalists who wears the fancy coat, clothes, who sit inside the AC room, I don't even feel like calling them journalists. It's a disregard to such a responsible profession. I mean, those people just blatantly spread misinformation. They try to brainwash more and more people without even thinking that what kind of impact it is going to put over the citizen of their nation who really trust them. Probably the most latest and disastrous example is India-Pakistan tension. What they did at that time was just beyond my understanding. At this point of time, when mainstream media literally acts as a PR of ruling government, not voicing up for the independent journalist and few of our creators who don't live under the disguise of apoliticalness, feels literally illegal to me, and that's why I have done my part. And with this, I take your permission, and I will definitely see you in the next video with something super important, as usual, without hesitating. Till then, thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye.